Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, going to start Gil's route today. I'm going to click this. After John McGill Lovecraft, this is our newlywed life together. I'll get you anything you want, so prepare yourself. I'm sure you will. Okay, yes, we're going to use the same name. Okay, so, we're obviously married, because it's a, prologue. We didn't really get a prologue on most of the other ones, did we? But anyway, Cupid, known as the deity of love, is often depicted with many romantic motifs. But the Cupid fell in... Oh. Okay, hold on, I gotta turn my music down. The only thing I don't like about this game is that it's got a lot of, like, music with lyrics, and they're very fucking loud. You probably can't hear them because I have things turned down very low, but it's very loud to me, and it's very distracting. It's like, I kind of don't like that. Like... It distracts from me reading, and it's like, I can hear lyrics, and I'm trying to read different... Please stop. Like, it's... I don't know. Anyway. So I guess we're Gil. Oh, this one only has 3 endings. Like all the other ones. Shelby was the weird one that had a bad ending. But this just has a sweet and spicy end, a sweet end, and a spicy end. Okay. Just important things to note here. Anyway. But the Cupid I fell in love with wasn't the conventional Cupid everyone recognized. The Cupid fell from the sky and became a human girl. And I'm head over heels for her. Once we became lovers, my world exploded with color. A soft kiss on my lips jolted me from my daze. We sound like we're on a beach or there's seagulls in our bedroom. Oh, look at that CG right off the bat, because I don't think this is one from the last game. I don't know, but here you go. Okay. Gil? Good morning. Sleep well. We're sleeping on a lounge chair? Are we on a boat? Are we on a cruise? I think we're on a cruise. Looks like we're on a cruise. Huh? I suppose. Are we on our honeymoon? I didn't recall drifting off, but suddenly Gil's face was just inches from mine. Apparently I dozed off on the balcony couch, the rhythmic flow of waves having lulled me into sleep. A chuckle slipped out as I looped my arms around his neck. Good morning, Gil. Morning. His breath warmed my face as our lips met. The kiss was familiar, much like in my dreams. A kiss from my beloved Gil made me close my eyes. It's so funny, like, now being in his route. Oh, my beloved Gil. All the other times, like, yeah, nope, anyway. And then she's, like, actively trying to vote. Like, Gil's in love with Clarice, right? Still, I know it's not, but I'm going to keep convincing myself. And now we're like, oh, I adore him. It's just so funny. We were here post-wedding and on our honeymoon. Despite our yearning for each other, it felt like a never-ending abyss. His warm touch and the sensation of his hand stroking my hair only intensified my desire for him. Girl. Okay. They brought us juice. Want some? Oh, yeah. We ordered room service. Yep. It's sweet and refreshing. Here you go. The juice Gil handed me soothed my throat. It felt like an internal cleanse. The hotel staff told us it was their most popular drink, a blend of mango, pineapple, and lime. Okay, so we just have a view of the ocean. You can't really tell based on the background. It looks like there's ocean. We could have been on a cruise. You don't know. It's delicious. I'm glad you like it. We've got dinner in 2 hours, so you could nap a bit more. Gil tenderly grazed my cheek with his thumb, his gaze piercing mine. You must be exhausted since you had so much fun on the beach today, and haven't rested since the wedding. I bet we haven't. We know Gil. Thanks, but I'll be fine, especially since you're here with me, Gil. My beloved Gil. With him by my side, joy overpowered any fatigue. I set the drink aside, throwing my arms around his neck and leaning in for another kiss. Girl is frisky in his route. What is it? You're rarely like this. No, I was just reflecting on how happy I am. Really? Well, I feel the same way. This time, Gil initiated the kiss, a playful teasing peck. His eyes sparkled in the sunset light, reflecting the affection I'd come to expect. His gaze reassured me that he'd never turn away. I hope not. Gil... I love you. I love you too. As the sunset painted the sky red, I noticed a different kind of fire flicker in his eyes. that followed was deeper, more passionate. I'm not moaning for him. Gil, his weight pressed down on me. I bet it did. But I'd become used to it. I feel like I bet is going to be just count how many times I say that. And this, okay, good Lord. We were on our honeymoon, alone in our hotel room. No need to fear prying eyes. Well, there's the balcony, but... I caressed his hair, hearing Gil sigh contentedly. We're finally married. He's been waiting for that since the moment he met you. Yeah. Our noses touched, our lips teased each other playfully, and our laughter filled the room. Gil, you're my husband now. Yes, I'm your husband and you're my wife. The sweetness of our wedding ceremony lingered in my heart, much like melting ice cream. Having pledged ourselves to each other in wedding attire, we were ready for our honeymoon, with no need for restraint. I've dreamt of this day for so long. My dear Spacey. You know exactly what I'm going to say, I bet. Jesus. Serious, Lo, you know he's been dreaming of your wedding since the moment he first laid eyes on you. He's the obsessed, you know what I mean? It's Gil, come on. The ice in the glass had melted. The sound of the waves was our lullaby. And we missed dinner. But we had dessert instead. No, you don't get to do that. Elated honeymoon trip. The past 6 years since Gil and I met would forever be etched in my memory. The day I stopped being Cupid was the day I discovered what love truly was. Spacey. Case 1. Lovelorn Parasite. All right, no. Raoul's the obsessed one because he's obsessed with mythology. Whatever. I can't remember who's who. It has been like a week. Like, I finished Shelby's route. I told you guys, this is my last day of my vacation. I had a couple days off, and I'm like, I had enough to just go up and upload for the end of the week. And I'm like, if I don't I got nothing to post for this week at all. And so I am literally right now, this is a week before this posts. Where I'm a week fucking ahead. That's terrifying. Because I'm also barely a week ahead on our other game. Which ended. So I haven't started any, I'm so motherfucking behind. Also, I am in physical fucking agony right now because my cramps are so fucking bad. I just want to curl up in the ball on a couch and cry and not do a damn thing. But I'm so fucking behind. We'll see if that ever, if I can. Look, I told you. It's October and November should be fine. Days off I have will be done for recording. That's what it is. But I also have painters that are supposed to fucking come paint this stupid ceiling. So dumb. I don't want them here. It's a waste of my fucking Wednesday because, I have to be careful with the bird because he wants to be with me and he won't stay downstairs, so he can't be up here breathing in paint fumes, you know? Anyway. Case 1, Lovelorn Parasite. But it's been a while since I, played the end of Shelby's route. I had a couple of days where I could have probably, shoved in a little bit of recording while I was getting ready for stuff, but I was I don't want to be in the middle of Gil's route and I didn't have enough time to, finish it, you know? I probably should have just done it. I discovered only recently that Gil Lovecraft, a member of the Parasite 5, had been lovelorn for me. Until then, I had assumed Gil was nursing an unrequited love for Clarice. But now... You're the one that Gil likes! He's always had feelings for you! Clarice's declaration took me by surprise. I couldn't believe that Gil had feelings for me, leading me to make a bet with Clarice. She's like, I bet anything. Yeah. His embrace made me realize my misconception. However, as Cupid, the idea of falling in love with a human seemed impossible to me. But as I spent more time with Gil, my feelings evolved and I fell for him. And now... It was 3 hours later. Spacey, what's wrong? Gil's voice pulled me back to the present. We were enjoying our honeymoon and were on our way back to Baltimore. Baltimore's quite far from Los York. Gil wanted to introduce me to his friends and relatives who couldn't attend the wedding. Nothing. I was just thinking about how quickly time has flown. What do you mean? So much has happened these past 6 months. It all feels surreal to me. You're right about that. Yeah. So much has happened, like turning Alan into a spirit inside of a flying car transformer. Okay. Gil gazed out of the airplane window, lost in thought. This starts out pretty normal for where it kind of went in the original game. I wonder if he was reminiscing about the time we flew home from Celestia. Okay. Glad we were going to bring that up. You knew we had to somewhere. I never thought we would end up together. The night our feelings became mutual came back to me, bringing a lump to my throat. And to be honest, I've been somewhat cynical, doubting that day would ever arrive. I suppose I'd grown accustomed to being lovelorn. It was so ingrained in me. I mean, for 6 fucking years. But that night, she confessed her feelings for me. I wasn't prepared for her admission. I was too stunned to react. The happiness was overwhelming. That was when we shared our first kiss. I was on the brink. All of our pent-up emotions and desires were suddenly laid bare. I think it's mostly yours. She was so naive and adorable, like a baby bird. I wanted her all to myself. That was what I thought. And that night she was irresistibly cute, even crying at the end. We were so wrapped up in each other, as if we were the last 2 people on Earth. She looked at me blankly. Recalling that moment made me somewhat restless. It's nothing. It's just reminiscing about a few things. That memory would always be my most cherished. I'd been harboring feelings for her since college, and we eventually became a couple. I felt so alive. Again, since we met, the moment you laid eyes on me, come on. However, things took a twist from there. From that point forward, honestly, oh God, I can't laugh, it hurts. Everything was a whirlwind. Now we're husband and wife. We truly got married. I don't remember the wedding in this one. Oh, okay, all right. It all seemed like a fairy tale or a dream. But these memories were the real thing. Right, because he looks more like Raoul here than he does himself, which is just... I feel like I remember that from the first game and feeling the same thing, like... And we overcame numerous challenges together to eventually become wedded. Strong emotions began to brim in my heart. I really married her. The woman I've loved for so long. This is what being on top of the world feels like. Well, also, you're in an airplane, so technically also true. Gil seems overjoyed. He'd been wearing a grin for a while. Gil, what's on your mind? Huh? Oh, nothing. Just remembering our wedding. You looked stunning in that dress. You looked stunning out of it, I bet. Son of a fucking bitch. Now I can't. Now every time I say it, I'm going to be like, oh, dear God. Gil scratched his head. Despite it, he looked delighted. His happiness was infectious. I see. And you look great in your tuxedo. Really? That's reassuring. He did, though. That was a good CG. But when I put the wedding band on your finger, you were so beautiful. It made me incredibly nervous. My hand was almost shaking. Really? Yeah. I rehearsed the wedding ceremony in my mind over and over for 6 fucking years. But I went blank when it actually happened. I had mentally prepared myself to reunite with you after all that time, but I hadn't prepped for the ring exchange. Did I do okay during the ceremony? That's the only thing that bothered me. You were perfect. I didn't notice you were shaking when we exchanged rings. Really? Yeah, Gil. You were the picture of confidence. Okay, then. That's great. So that's how you saw me. Yeah, which is odd, since you're still a bumbling mess right now. He smiled with a nod. Maybe it was just me, but he seemed even more joyful. What was that about mentally preparing to reunite with me, though? There was about a 2-year gap in which Gil and I weren't roommates. I felt both delighted and slightly awkward, realizing that I'd been on his mind that whole time. I'm so content right now, and nothing else in the world matters. Oh, Gil. If anyone saw us, they'd think we were a sickeningly sweet couple fresh off our honeymoon. You are. But the truth was, we were newlyweds basking in marital bliss. They'd think we were a sickeningly sweet couple fresh off our honeymoon. But the truth is, we're newlyweds basking in marital bliss. That's the same fucking thing. You are fresh off your honeymoon, which is also what usually are newlyweds basking in marital bliss. That's the same motherfucking thing. That's the same fucking thing. Why is that? That's the dumbest. Okay. Is that how this? Are you going to piss me off, game, by saying stupid shit like that? If people saw us, they think we were in love, but the truth is, we were really in love. Yeah, duh. Who wrote that? Tim? Ronald? Corner. Because that's the stupidest shit. Get out. I'm excited to introduce you to everyone back in my hometown. It's one thing to be like, oh, they think we were straight off our honeymoon, but the truth is we've been married for 6 years. You know what I mean? Like, but we're newlyweds. Yeah, newlyweds usually go on the honeymoon. I'm just really, really crampy and in a lot of physical fucking agony. So my tolerance for bullshit is very low right now. But that's just so dumb. Anyway. And they'll be surprised that I managed to marry such a beauty. Way to be confident in yourself, Gil. Oh, stop exaggerating. I'm not. You are my angel after all. Okay, simmer down. Gil smiled as he showed me his phone screen. It displayed a folder filled with numerous photos of me that he had shown to my dad as well. Yeah, I mean... You keep that to yourself, sweetie. Wait, there are even more photos now? Of course. Every second I see you, you're just too cute. I can't help snapping pictures. Yeah, no, are you sure you're not the obsessed one? This is when you were wondering which color of matching toothbrushes to buy. And this is a snapshot of you doodling on your pancakes with caramel sauce. I guess this will just get your dad calling me a weirdo again. He's not wrong. I think everyone else might say the same, honestly. But it was clear that he adored me, so I couldn't argue. Love truly is blind, they say. Well, I mean, like, there's not really nothing wrong with having your husband adore you, but there is a line. Gil, I'm gonna need you to stop crossing it. Just simmer down a little. My dear Gil, I am who I am today because he fell for me as Cupid. After I returned to Celestia, he employed some rather crazy methods to find me. He declared his love for me, whether as a human or as Cupid. So this is Baltimore, where Gil was born and raised. I can't wait to see what it's like. I gazed out the window. It's going to be fun. We get to go to a new city. Just like how Gil visited Celestia, where I was born and raised, I was now doing the same for him. It's a lot easier to get to Baltimore, though. I looked forward to meeting Gil's friends and family, but... Spacey, what color would you like for your new dress? I think you'd look great in yellow. Gray is mature and chic, but what's been your favorite so far? Wait, I'm lost. What's happening again? Good for you, because I'm too. Are we in a boutique, or is his motherfucking family rich as shit? Is this just their fucking atrium? Why was I being shown so many dresses at Gil's parents' house? His parents are fucking loaded. Damn. A dress vendor had brought all of them over. Upon arriving at their home, I was greeted by a mountain of dresses. Oh, but pink could be nice, too. It suits you. Let's go easy and just buy about 10 of these dresses. Maybe... So, Gil, you're rich? Okay, we made a good choice. Shelby's rich, too. So, we made a good choice there. Gil... Oh, well, Ryuki's rich, too. Wow, they're all pretty fucking loaded. Oh, alright, okay. Well, Marini's wasn't, but, well, he's the prince of another planet, so I guess, technically, right? Alan might not be, maybe the only one who's, but he was like an angel or something, so technically, I don't know, whatever. Gil, what exactly are we preparing for right now? Huh? Our wedding, of course. Wedding? I remember we just had one recently. In Los York, yes, but we haven't had one in Baltimore yet. I have friends and relatives who couldn't make it. They still want to see the ceremony, so I thought about holding another one. Sweetie, that's what videotapes are for, and they can watch it. What? Huh? I didn't tell you? Oh, we married crazy. I think we knew that, though. It's Gil. No, you didn't! Right. Sorry. I guess I got carried away. Also, why would I be wearing a yellow wedding dress? Gil put down the dress he was holding and turned to me. It's also a chance to introduce you to everyone. So, can we have another wedding? No. Why don't we just have a reception? Why don't we just have a party? You know everyone at LC High and the factory would love to come. Dad wants to have it locally, and he said he'd cover the costs. So, can we? Gil looked at me with doting eyes, citing one reason after another. He looked like a scolded puppy, which made me burst into laughter. Yes, we can. Really? Yes, I'm surprised we're doing this whole wedding thing again, but I'd love to share our celebration with those who matter to you. I recalled that when I was a bridal advisor, I'd have customers inquire about hosting ceremonies in each of their hometowns. I nodded, and his face lit up with a genuine smile. Thank goodness. You had me scared there for a sec. Sorry for not asking you sooner. I feel like that's our entire relationship with Gil, is him just doing weird, crazy fucking shit like this, and then he's like looking all innocent. Can I with his puppy eyes, and we're just letting him get away with it, and one of these days we're going to be like, this is insane. This man's insane. Well, we already know. I don't know if she's ever going to get caught on. But my old butler and everyone else would be thrilled if they knew we're holding the wedding at Baltimore, too. Old butler? Yeah, he's the one who arranged to have all the dresses brought here. Master Gil, you've returned earlier than expected. If he is young and hot, I'm going to be really disappointed in this game. At that moment, a man dressed in traditional butler attire arrived. Gramps! Master Gil, you've grown into a fine young man. I'm assuming he should be an older gentleman, because he's Gil's butler from when he was a child, but... My apologies for not greeting you earlier, Madam Spacey. He doesn't even get a sprite. Nice to meet you. I've recently married Gil. I'm his wife, Spacey. I felt compelled to mirror his formality, and Gil just smiled shyly. Wife, huh? Master Gil, remember to maintain a dignified demeanor in public. Suddenly I heard some giggles. Oh, my, Master Gil, you certainly look ecstatic. Nanny, it's been a while. How have you been? I've been well, thank you. Master Gil, I hope you've stopped falling asleep in the garage. I don't do that anymore. Gil smiled sheepishly while the two of them looked on fondly. Their warm familial gazes were like the gentle sun. Oh, allow me to introduce you. This is Spacey. She's my wife, the love of my life. Nice to meet you. I'm Spacey. Oh, what a charming wife you have. Master Gil, you must be overjoyed. Absolutely. So, Nanny, which dress would be the best for the occasion? Gil began picking out my dress with a pair of them. I don't get to choose. His old butler and Nanny. I'd assumed Gil was a stereotypical rich boy from the movies when I first saw this mansion. Turned out I was right. He is the heir to the LCI company, after all. I think I kind of forgot about that from the first game. He still served as the president of LCI. Seeing him back at his parents' home and hearing him referred to as Master Gil showed me how much he was cherished. Isn't that a car company? Isn't the LCI, wasn't that what? And then that's why he's obsessed with cars and shit like that? Okay, I think I remember this, but... He wants to hold the ceremony in front of these people he cares deeply for. I have to make it spectacular. I chimed in with the trio, debating which dress would be best. I think the mermaid dress would be a good fit, but the bell sleeve is classic too. Indeed, the madam would look stunning in either. Right? And that's why it's tough to decide. We need to choose the theme first. Gil presented two dresses, just as the bridal planner had done for our first wedding ceremony. We have this yellow one with the lace and princess cut. And this one in grayish silk. It's simple yet stylish with a slender silhouette. Excuse me, fashion queen over here, what the fuck? Which of these two do you prefer? Gil looked at me with twinkling eyes as if he wanted me to say I love both. After a moment's consideration, I chose first choice in the game. Ooh. The yellow princess? I feel like the gray slender one is the spicy choice and the princess one would be the sweet choice, right? But, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it really freaking matters, so. Ooh, the spicier option. I assume. We choose the gray one. I prefer the slender cut. The material looks comfy and it'll help make the ceremony more enjoyable. But this design will be form-fitting. I'll need to maintain a disciplined lifestyle until the big day, if you catch my drift. I'm sure you don't have to fucking work. Oh, I ate a donut. Whoop-de-doo. Like, I'm sure you're gonna be fucking fine. Jesus Christ. Skinny bitches and always being... I ate a donut and I gained like 2 ounces. Oh no. Guess what? You're not gonna gain 40 fucking pounds overnight like the rest of us. Get over it. Gil, your food is so delicious that I need more self-restraint. What? No way. You're perfect just as you are. We could probably be 600 pounds and Gil would love us. It wouldn't matter. He adores us no matter what. Even if your sizes change, we can get you a new dress, so don't worry. Wear what you want to wear. Do you want to be petted or do you want to bite me? You're being an asshole. I know, it's because I left you for days. I said you could be a jerk when I got back, but not for this long. I'll love you no matter how you are. It's the way it should be. See, I told you the dress was the spicy one. I sensed a bit of madness in Gil's eyes as he smiled. Sensed? Should have sensed that the moment you met the man. He says even if my size changes, but I still have to watch it on my own. Gil was the type to spoil me endlessly. Even if I put on weight, he'd say he didn't mind. That only reinforced my resolve to look after my own health. Well, I mean, listen, it's nice that if you put on weight, he's still going to love you, but it's just true. He probably would just feed you to the point where you could never leave him. You're like, I can't move anymore. Like, I can't physically walk. Like, he'd be breaking your kneecaps purposely so you couldn't walk out the door. I'm just saying, he's crazy. Anyway, I believe this slender cut dress will look great on you. The silhouette on the back, especially the shoulder blades, will be accentuated. You'll look even more stunning. Are you getting all hot and bothered about my shoulder blades? Sure? Thanks. But I wonder how I appear to Gil. This makes me happy, but it's somewhat embarrassing. These 2 dresses are nice, but I'd like you to try some others. Gil started talking about trying everything that might suit me. He was about to fetch 20 more dresses, so I hastily intervened. But he was just getting warmed up. Happy premonition. President Gil, are you really gonna do this? If that's what you want, I'll go all out. Uh-oh. Oh dear. A few hours after we arrived at Gil's home, someone from the car workshop visited and started discussing plans for the ceremony. But why is someone from the car workshop? Oh, but why someone from the car workshop? Okay. Absolutely. Let's do it. It's been my dream since I was a kid. I've picked out some examples from movies and sci-fi novels. Oh dear God, I can only imagine. Any man would love this. I wonder what they're planning. Curious about what was going on, I snuck a peek at the estimate. I couldn't help but gasp. Hold on, Gil! What's this helicopter that's mentioned here? Huh? Hey, don't people do that thing where you descend from a helicopter? If we make a surprise entrance, everyone will be thrilled. We'll shower the wedding hall with rose petals. Listen, let the rich boy dream, because it sounds insane, but, like, I'm here for it. You kind of want to go to a wedding where you're like, these motherfuckers have so much goddamn money, I could only wish. Like, you know? Everyone at the venue will think a goddess has descended when they see you. Well, you are a real goddess. Rose petals? I know many clients at CC who wanted to do that. Gil, is that what you want? Huh? I'm not sure. What? I thought that's what you wanted. Flying was my dream, but I already achieved that dream a little while ago. Oh. The flying car, Bumblepig. I'm glad we brought him up. The car that Gil built to rescue me at Celestia was resting at home in Lost York. I hope Bumblepig's behaving at home. According to Mom, it possessed some kind of soul, so it interacted with the car radio and even roamed around at night. I love the fact that it's fucking Alan, isn't it? And oh, it's not so much wanting to fly, but rather wanting to show her off to everyone. And you want to use a helicopter for that? Why not just use a convertible like we did in Lost York? President Gill, did you confirm this with your wife first? I thought this would be so ordinary that I didn't need to, and I'm rich and I'll do whatever the fuck I want. He's crazy. He'll do whatever he wants. What exactly is ordinary for Gil? The man built a transformer and flew to a fairy tale realm. Okay, well, like, not in this game. It's not fairy, but you know what I mean. Like, come on. Like, there's not a lot of normal going on here. You haven't changed a bit. You always charge in head first once you set your mind on something. And that's why we're married to him. Remember when you insisted on flying and attached a jet engine to a car and the entire storage exploded? Hey, not in front of her. This is embarrassing. Gil and the mechanic started reminiscing about the past. Seeing them like that was heartwarming, but concerning. They're talking about helicopters and a parade of 50 cars. What scale of wedding ceremony are they imagining? Well, you're the queen of Baltimore now. They estimated several terms that were foreign to me. It reminded me of times at CC or during my Cupid days when the groom or bride got carried away with the wedding plans. I thought I had experienced plenty of grand weddings in Lost York, but it seemed like the ceremony here in his hometown of Baltimore was going to be even bigger than I had anticipated. This is going to be amazing. And my suspicion was confirmed. Gil's planning meeting for the ceremony extended into the night. I'm so exhausted. It's like we never even left the atrium. Once the meeting ended, I enjoyed a lovely dinner with Gil's parents. After bathing in the large communal bath, I finally got some alone time with Gil. I let out a long sigh. Sorry, I'm sure you're exhausted. It's late now, so let's just head to bed. Come on, let's go to sleep. With his usual boyish grin, Gil scooped me up. And he carried me all the way to the bed, telling me he would get my pajamas. And here we are. Gil gently laid me onto the bed, just like he always does at home. After rolling around in the sheets a bit, I caught a delightful scent. Oh. This was the bed he'd used his whole life until he moved away. Gil's scent lingered all over it. That's a little disturbing because, like, shouldn't they have washed the fucking sheets once after he moved? It's been fucking forever. And, like, even if you came to visit, like, oh yeah, I came here a couple months ago, like, they probably would have cleaned your sheets. I'm just saying. I suddenly felt a wave of relaxation wash over me. That's a weird, odd thing to be like, oh, it smells like him. Ew. When was the last time he was here? Because that's pretty funky. I'm just saying. Could you imagine, like, oh, I go home to my parents' house. I spent the night there one weekend, and it's been like 6 months, and I go back, and they've never washed. Ew. Oh. Breathing a sigh of relief, I rolled over, my eyes roaming the room. So this is Gil's room. He grew up here until he started at Lost York University. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just realizing how this room really shows your personality. Yeah, there's a lot of random red plaid. Like, what's with the random red plaid? I feel like the one above the bed's supposed to be like a curtain, but... His collection of car models confirmed his love for cars. He's also got a staircase in his fucking room. While I continued to take in the surroundings, Gil scratched his head bashfully. This is kinda awkward. I hope I didn't leave anything weird lying around. Don't worry. It's a chill room. Very calming to be in. Hope I didn't leave anything weird lying around. Okay, maybe you've been here more recently, but like, weird lying around like the photo album you showed me of all the pictures of me that you take candidly. I don't think there's anything weirder than that. I hope so. I would have tidied up a bit more if I knew you'd be sleeping here. Okay, so he wasn't here that long ago. Okay, fine. Gil glanced around, a hint of concern crossing his face before he settled onto the bed beside me. This bed, once only his alone, was surprisingly spacious for two. He did come from an affluent family, after all. Master Gil, huh? Reminiscing about the day's meeting, I began to feel uneasy. Yeah, I only knew Gil as my roommate back in college, but he was the heir of LCI. He had a butler and a nanny, and even the car workshop staff treated him with utmost respect. Given his high social status, a grand wedding ceremony was probably unavoidable. But honestly, I think a helicopter is a bit much. So, we'll also have a meeting about the menu for the ceremony. Can you join me for that too, while you're making all the decisions? Sure, of course. Awesome. I've always wanted to have a transform cars. God, it's so hard to say that. Wedding cake. Are we having a wedding or a child's birthday party? Transform cars wedding cake? You know what? I'm not opposed to this. It sounds ridiculous. Yeah, once we cut the cake, dry ice smoke will start puffing out. And the knife we'll use will be a custom-made one that looks like a front spoiler and... As Gil began brainstorming out loud, this is insanity, but I'm here for this. It became clear that leaving everything to him could result in chaos. Again, I kind of want to see this. I was thrilled to see Gil so excited, but we were limited on time for the ceremony during our honeymoon. Despite his elaborate plans, I worried whether the vendors could meet his expectations. I turned to Gil. Tell him gently, tell him directly. So I feel like directly is the spicy choice and gently is the sweet choice, and we're probably supposed to take the sweet option right now. So we probably tell him gently. I only have one hand, so pardon. Yeah, tell him gently. Okay. You know, because we're going back and forth. Gil, can we chat? Sure. What's up? Consider this scenario. Imagine you're at a friend's birthday party. The reception at the party hall welcomes you with 6 flamingos. Then the birthday guy, your friend, shows up in a helicopter with an over-the-top entrance. You barely get to speak with him. And the party ends with a massive fireworks display. How would you feel about the party once you got home? I'd probably think it was a flashy party and must have cost a fortune. Exactly. But wouldn't you miss celebrating the birthday with your friend? Isn't that the whole point? You're right. If I couldn't chat with my friend, it's less of a celebration and more of an entertainment show. I feel like telling him directly was slapping him in the face with a pillow and being like, simmer down! Oh, I see what you're getting at. Gil's eyes widened, clearly connecting the hypothetical birthday party to his wedding plan. I gathered the courage to speak my mind. To be honest, I just want a ceremony that leaves everyone with a smile. I want to create those happy memories with you, Gil. That's why, could we maybe reconsider the way we're planning this ceremony? Spacey. Yeah, I get that people might only recall the flamingos when they talk about our wedding ceremony. Even though we weren't going to have flamingos, but now I want them. A grand welcome with flamingos could be overwhelming. You make a good point. With a breath, Gil pulled out his schedule from his pocket. I don't know that they ever introduced flamingos, but I'm assuming he must have. Okay, I'll revise the plan. Gil... I felt relieved as he agreed. He scratched his cheek bashfully. Sorry, I got carried away thinking about planning our wedding ceremony. I didn't consider the bigger picture. I only thought about packing as much as possible into the ceremony. I completely forgot about the attendees. But you're right. There's no need to do everything at once. We can always have another ceremony if we want. Wait, what? I thought I detected a hint of foreboding in his words, but Gil smiled warmly at me. I'll come up with a plan that'll leave everyone happy when that they attended our wedding ceremony, or just our ceremony, sorry. Can I have your input too? Yeah, of course. Thanks. First I need to research what a standard wedding ceremony includes. We laid side by side on the bed, shoulders touching, and scrolled through various websites on a tablet. You're like, do you know the wedding that we had the first time? Yeah, that. Standard. Oh, so there are flowers that are appropriate and inappropriate for weddings? Oh, this flower's cute. You're right. They're blue stars and they symbolize blissful love. They could be ours something blue. Do you like the idea of having these flowers at the venue? Yeah, they're elegant and lovely. Elegant. You're right. I've been focused on flashy stuff. We can revise this part. That reminds me, I remember seeing carnivorous plants on the list. What kind of food should we serve that guests would enjoy? We looked up popular alcoholic beverages and foods for weddings, as well as the current trends. This is tough. It seems like cuisine preferences vary by region. We stumbled upon an article about the exchange of rings, and Gil paused our scrolling. Again, it's like we're planning a wedding because we've never had one, but we fucking went through a wedding ceremony, so it's not like we've never done this before. And we had a pretty standard wedding the first time, I'm assuming here. So, like, did they? It's like, I mean, I get it. They were like, oh, you probably do. So, like, we want to, like, renew our vow, kind of, that we're going to do the thing in Boulder, like, whatever. And, but now, like, wow, what do typical weddings? I do not know. Like, most people kind of comprehend standard things, and, like, you already had a wedding. This isn't your first. You literally had one, like, a month ago. So, like, it's a little weird. Like, not the redoing a wedding thing, but now we need to research it. Wow, you mean people like different food? Jeez, this is hard, planning a wedding. You did this already! It's kind of fucking weird. I don't know why they chose to write it as if we didn't already have a wedding, or we just clearly fucking had one and then our memories were wiped. Is this the version of amnesia? Like, that this game is going to throw out? Like, we have amnesia, we forgot our wedding that we just literally finished? Like, I mean, question mark? What the fuck? It's so bizarre. Oh. The article shared tips on how to smoothly exchange rings and prevent dropping them. And again, he's like, oh my god, because we already did this. I mean, I get it. He said he was really nervous through the whole thing, so he's probably thinking about, oh god, I gotta do it again, but I recall Gil's thoughts on the plane. He said his hand trembled slightly, and he wanted the ceremony to be perfect. I wonder if we'll exchange rings again or not. Our rings were already on our fingers, but if Gil had any regrets, we could certainly do it again. Those thoughts occupied my mind as we continued to browse wedding-related articles. Then, Gil stopped scrolling again. I mean, that one makes sense. Oh, here's a video compilation. He pointed to a thumbnail of a video about weddings. Is this YouCube? Yeah, they put together a video about common wedding prep mistakes. I clicked on one of the videos, revealing a man in a parka with a cute bird on it, his face hidden by a hood. Who is Bird Dude? Who do you think Bird Dude is? Who do you think he's really hiding under there? I'm just gonna read it. Let love fly like two lovebirds. Romance is the spice of life. Let this love reach you. Hey there, lovebirds. YouTuber romance, your YouTuber romance guru is here. Let's dive into common wedding blunders that often spark arguments among couples. I'm trying to figure out, I feel like it's one of our characters. It's not just some random dude, because you know what I mean? Bet you didn't know, but there's a surprising number of couples who split up over wedding planning. One common issue, one partner's uncooperative or too motivated, and they argue because the other isn't helping. Another is a clash of values. Budgeting for the venue, dress, and food often becomes a battleground. Anyway, I've got some tips and tricks up my sleeve on how to save on your wedding budget. The YouTuber Lovebirds launched into his tips and tricks. He covered topics like choosing the right flowers for weddings, florography to consider, and scoring good deals. Florography. He flagged common pitfalls when selecting food and gave pointers on choosing between buying or renting a dress. He shared so much information that even I, as a Cupid Core advisor, learned something new. If you include each other's favorite foods in the menu, it can be a great conversation starter for your guests. Share stories about your relationship. Trust me, you'll never run out of material. And finally, let's wrap up with some suggestions. I got the perfect book for couples looking to deepen their love. Ever read Love Letters for You by Gil Lovecraft? It's all the rage. This book will bring you back to the purity of your initial feelings and make you a better lover. I hope you find this helpful. Good night, lovebirds. See you next time. Did he just mention your book, Gil? Yeah. Surprising, right? I never expected such a well-known YouTuber to mention me. He made some solid points, like how a buffet is usually simpler than a course menu. Right, and the bit about how it's a buzzkill if the meal ends too soon. I mean, buffet is nicer too because people can get what they want. They don't have to order, like, a chicken or fish or, like, whatever. Like, what if you're like, what if I don't eat either, you know? So, how about we just set up a variety of options in a relaxed setting, like a garden party? Sounds good, but we should also have some plated dishes so guests can relax. A great point. Is there any dish you're craving? I thought back to the video. He suggested incorporating a memorable dish from our past. The most memorable dish between Gil and me was blue cheese, but we used that at the first wedding, so these people were not the first one, most of them. What about crab cakes? That's perfect. We can get fresh crabs in Baltimore. I always want to say Baltimore, but it's Baltimore? Jesus. And it's a dish that means a lot to us. It's memorable because it was the first thing you ever cooked for me. And to avoid too much seafood, let's skip the bucket of oysters. He was considering a bucket of oysters? Slowly but surely, we refined our plans through those discussions. Thanks, Spacey. What's gotten into you? Nothing. I'm just happy. I love how we can share our thoughts and create this wedding ceremony together. Now let's make this one unforgettable. Because apparently the first one was? I'm just saying. With a soft smile, Gil turned away from the screen to share a sweet kiss. Although we were newlyweds, we still frolicked and smooched as if we were still dating. Because Why? Because we're newlyweds, so all of a sudden we're newlyweds, so it's like we've been married for 72 years. Like, you should know we're still frolicking and smooching. Like, we're still that's the whole point of being newlyweds. You're in the honeymoon phase. That's why they call it the honeymoon phase, you dumbass. Like, why do they're making the weirdest comments in this route. Like, some people would think we were, like, newlyweds, but in truth, we're newlyweds. And it's like, duh? Or, like, planning a wedding. Let's look up what are standard wedding things. You just fucking had one. We're going to make this one memorable. Because clearly your first one wasn't, because you forgot how weddings work 2 weeks later or whatever. And, like, now we're still frolicking and smooching as if we're dating, but we're newlyweds. Because, like, the magic is supposed to disappear the second you get married? Dude, I mean, yes, when you're first dating someone, the honeymoon period, whether it's your actual honeymoon or in the very beginning when you're dating, is always a little more exciting than when you've fit into a groove and it's a little more comfortable. But you should still always have moments like this where you're like, ha, it's like giggly like our first date or something, you know? Because, like, you don't, like, this is the way it should always be. You should have these giggly moments. No, it's not going to be every single day because you reach a comfort level with somebody. But it also doesn't mean that, oh, the second we got married, we're boring and we hate each other and there's nothing thrilling or exciting and we don't giggle and love it. Like, they just make the weirdest comments in this route. It's so bizarre. Who wrote this? Who wrote Gil's route? Are you bitter? Like, I'm bitter, and even I'm like, whoa, some of this is a little weird. Like, what the fuck? Am I being nitpicky? Probably. Whatever. Thankfully, we trashed the ideas of a flamingo display and helicopter entrance. Second first night. Oh, my. Over the next few days, we poured ourselves into the wedding plans, and the wedding ceremony in Baltimore with Gil began. Oh, okay, we're not going to go drag it out. Cool, we're just going to go right into it. Oh, look at the little puffy, whatever, color explosions are happening. Fireworks lit up the sky as numerous LCI cars rolled into the venue. We entered the venue hall in a different way than we did at Lost York with Bumblepig. Although the car was different, the presentation made it look like we just left Lost York and arrived at Baltimore by car. I like that he's got his little Transformer car thing, like, in the background is like an ice sculpture or whatever, you know? It's cute. Gil and I worked out the ceremony's design so that even those who attended both weddings would enjoy it. Hey, thanks for joining us today. As we stepped out of the car, cheers erupted. Gil, congratulations! Gil, congrats on your wedding! As soon as we appeared, the bubble machine sprang to life. That's awesome. The bubbles caught the sunlight and sparkled. There's all the bubbles. Thank you, everyone. We've got a lot of delicious food, so please enjoy. After making our rounds, we arrived at the bride and groom's seats, adorned with vibrant flowers. Everyone then gathered. Gil, you've come a long way. I hardly recognized you. Thanks. Your bride's stunning! Congratulations! Thank you! Friends from Gil's high school days, LCI employees, and even folks from the car factory had come to join the celebration. We continued with the planned festivities, aiming to make sure everyone had a good time. Balloon release, flower shower, bouquet toss. Balloon release is bad for the environment. We even played a video of our Lost York ceremony that was cut like a movie trailer. That's actually kind of cute. That's the thing. You didn't have to do a whole, you could have just done a little reception where you guys get all dressed up, whatever. You didn't have to do a whole ceremony. You show them that and cut into like a movie trailer is kind of cute. The ceremony was far more casual than the Lost York one, but it was equally enjoyable. Besides, nobody actually enjoys the wedding part. Like, oh, we're sitting there during the ceremony, especially for Catholics, sit, stand, kneel, all that shit. You know, if you're not and you're like, everyone sits standing, do I have to do this? Like, this is awkward and weird. Okay, but like, it's the party afterward, it's the reception. That's what everyone wants. So like, cut out the crap. Let's go to the fun shit. By the way, the event presentation was done referencing that romance YouTubers pointers. We ditched the helicopter and flamingos, instead featuring a bumblebee-shaped cake, and we were surrounded by smiles. Oh, that's the cake. Okay. Well, I knew it was pink, but like... It's my first time eating a transforming cake. That's something else, Gil. The decorations are wonderful. Gil, this is a great ceremony. Yeah, I agree. You look over the moon. Yeah, that's because I am. Gil surveyed the venue, and he smiled happily. I'm so glad we planned the ceremony this way. Having everyone able to come and chat, enjoying the food, it's perfect. If we'd gone all out with the flashy stuff, we wouldn't have been able to enjoy this relaxed vibe. Thanks for reining me in. I'm glad we crafted this plan together. Me too. I enjoyed planning with you. It's, again, because it's like you didn't plan the first... Who did the first one? Somebody just did it, and you were just like, you do it, whatever, we'll just show up. I mean... Anyway. Really? Absolutely. The planning phase is really what makes a wedding ceremony. Sure, it was tough to get Gil to rethink his initial vision for the ceremony, but we managed to have open discussions about it. We found a balance in our values and discovered each other's preferences. That process was definitely enjoyable. Yeah, I'm incredibly happy. I think I'm the luckiest man in the world. Gil says that all the time. Gil looked so happy during our first wedding ceremony and throughout the honeymoon. He frequently voiced how happy he was to be married. Hearing him say it so often doubled my own joy. I feel the same way. I'm the luckiest woman in the world. Spacey. We smiled at each other and embraced. I'm completely smitten with you. Duh. Yeah. I love you. I love you too. We shared an intimate moment, only to be interrupted by cheers from behind us. You two are the epitome of lovebirds! Oh. I totally forgot everyone was still here. We're newlyweds, so it's to be expected. Even if you've been married for 50 years, it's adorable to have moments like this. You should still have moments like this. Just saying. I've never seen a couple still so head over heels with their second ceremony. It's like been not even a month! I mean, I get it. Maybe you had a second ceremony and it's been 10 years, but you should still be head over heel. Oh my God. Whoever wrote this is like the person who's never seen anybody in love before. The person who wrote this is an alien who's like, I do not understand. Like, seriously? So many weird comments in here that make no sense. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. Like, oh, we're just so in love and we are just the epitome of adorable couple. And it's like, yeah, but this. I mean, yeah, I get it. Maybe most people aren't like public displays of affection, but you're at a wedding and it should be adorable. I'm like, oh, look at that cute little moment or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but like being like, oh my God, you're still in love after being married for like a couple of weeks. Wow. Like, that shouldn't be shocking. You know what I mean? It's just, it's kind of odd is all I'm saying. Like, have I gone crazy? Because like, why are they making it seem so weird that we're still in love with our husband and we literally just got married? Like, it's weird. All right, this is the second. Yeah, but with her, I'd want to marry her again and again. Even 100 weddings wouldn't be enough for me. Oh no. Oh no. Is this the way the spicy end's gonna go, where we're just wedding after wedding after wedding? You're really putting that last name Lovecraft to good use. Yep. That's right. Gil once told me how much he disliked his last name in the past. He'd been teased about crafting love. But now he was laughing along with everyone else about it. His smile seemed genuinely amused. From there, the wedding ceremony proceeded smoothly. I'm just saying, at least when they teased Gil about having the last name Lovecraft, they were like, oh, craft and love, and not like, what kind of demonic eldritch gods are you going to summon into existence? So I'm just saying, Gil, it could have been worse. Although, do you know some eldritch gods? Because that'd be kind of a fun way to twist this one up. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. After we made the rounds, greeting everyone, the music switched to a new tune and we heard a peculiar sound effect. Gil's eyes widened in surprise. Huh? What's this sound? Don't worry, Gil. It's just part of the show. The show? Yeah, that was the part of the show that I had secretly added without telling Gil. He had once mentioned regretting a particular part of our previous wedding ceremony. It was time for a redo of the ring exchange. Oh! And it's, oh my god, there's a little frickin' drone. Suddenly, a drone decorated with wedding motifs flew into the venue. The drone had a festive design, causing the crowd to cheer. A drone? Wow, what's that about? That's so cool! It descended to our table. On the drone was a white cushion carrying our wedding rings. How did you get your ring off of Gil? Gil immediately figured out what was about to happen. Again, how'd you get his ring off? Is this the ring exchange? Yeah, Gil, you mentioned wishing we could have done this at our previous wedding ceremony. We did do it. He could have done it better. So, again, with the wording. I mean, I get what they're getting at, but like, Tim, Ronald, like, you mentioned that you wished we had exchanged rings. We did exchange rings. What he mentioned was, I wish I was conscious for it because I kind of blacked out because I was so nervous, basically. So you're like, you mentioned it, like, that you wish you could redo this. Or, something like that. Like, the wording. God, I'm so nitpicky because I'm very creepy. Since you worked so hard in preparing for this one, I wanted to give something back. I consulted with your butler about it, and I had him steal your ring, and you didn't even notice. With the old man? I wanted to witness your ring exchange, Master Gil. I was more than happy to oblige. You taught me how to control these drones since you were a child. Oh, that's his nanny.
You taught me how to control these drones since you were a child. I did the best I could to help.
Nanny, I see. So that's why you held onto the rings when I changed into my tuxedo. So when you changed into your tuxedo, you took your ring off? Who the fuck needs to take their ring off to put a jacket on? I'm just saying. But hey, at least they were like, they kind of found a way to explain away how Gil didn't have his ring. But also, my nanny took my ring and kept it. You didn't think that was odd? Okay, whatever. I just assumed that's how things are done in these ceremonies. You did all this to surprise me. Again, you have a wedding before. You know how this goes. Why is everyone stupid in this? Why? We've had one wedding. How are you this stupid? I know that there are different cultural things, but like, Gil's acting like he is the alien and has never been to a wedding before and has no idea how anything works, and yet we already had a wedding. Like, and if we didn't talk about doing another ring exchange, he would think it was odd that they took his ring. But the fact that they're like, no, I'll take it for you. Don't worry about it. Okay. How dumb. Okay. Okay, whatever. But this is just fucking absurd. Like, I mean, they did the best they could to explain away how our rings got taken away, and he was just like, okay about it, but that doesn't make sense, but sure, okay. Gil smiled happily at me. It's so fucking bizarre. Thank you. So I can do the ring exchange with you again. Let's do it. The ring exchange. We've been waiting for this! This feels a bit embarrassing. While everyone looked on, Gil took my hand. Then the priest appeared as part of the surprise. Now, everyone, let's watch the bride and groom exchange their rings. Go on. Yes. Even though he was as nervous as last time, Gil's hands didn't shake at all. He carefully removed my glove. Here goes. Okay. Gil took one of the rings and placed it onto my ring finger. It was the same ring that I had been wearing until that morning. It was back where it belonged. I mean, I understand if, like, we said we were going to do the ring exchange type of a thing, but, like, wow. He had done this before, but Gil looked at it as if we were exchanging rings for the first time. Yes, I did it right this time. Now it's my turn. Yes, please. Gil's wedding ring was bigger than mine. I lifted it from the cushion and slid it onto his ring finger. It would have been so funny if you fumbled and tripped and knocked into the cake and ruined the whole wedding. When our matching rings were snugly fitted onto our fingers, the crowd erupted in cheers. Congrats, Gil! Congratulations, Gil! Well, not to me, whatever. And thank you all. I mean, he really did win the lottery with us. He adores us, so I guess it's alright. And thank you, too. We've made such wonderful memories. I'm happy that it was successful this time. And now, I won't have any regrets when I think about the ring exchange. Thank goodness. To be honest, I was a little worried about whether he would like the surprise. But seeing Gil's happiness told me that the surprise was a success. I breathed a sigh of relief and glanced over at the butler and nanny. Then I noticed some people approaching us, Mafia. Gil, it's been ages! Congrats on your marriage, Gil! That ring exchange was awesome! Wow, everyone. Thanks for coming today. People who seemed to be Gil's friends approached him, and his eyes lit up. His expression was different from when he had been speaking to his workshop and high school buddies. It was a warmer, friendlier expression. Gil, who are these people? They're my old middle school friends. Wow, this sure brings me back. How's everyone doing? I don't know. I know, but I'm not friends with anybody I went to middle school with. We're doing great, but who'd have thought old Gil would end up a fancy city boy and score such a catch? I could never have pictured it, knowing you back in middle school, Gil. I want to see pictures of Gil in middle school. He's probably just as dweeby as he is now. Huh? I don't think I've changed all that much since then. I bet he hasn't. No, you're totally different. Back in the day, I barely understood 80% of what came out of your mouth. We're over there that's still the case. Huh? You only got 20% of what I was saying. Back then, all you ever talked about was cars. Well, my family runs a car shop, so I get it. I'm glad at least someone understood. You did talk about wanting to find someone you could dedicate your life to. Seriously, congrats, Gil. Yeah, thanks. I finally married the perfect woman I can dedicate my whole life to. You were talking about that in middle school? He's been crazy his whole life. Kinda cute, though. He said that as though lost in thought. Gil then shot me a sloppy smile. Seeing his lovesick expression, all of his friends burst into laughter. You do look super happy. I'm jealous. How did you two meet? Where do I start? We were roommates at first, but that's not the whole story. Gil began telling the story of how we first met. We started off as roommates, but there was a time where we lost touch. But when he joined Cupid Corps for matchmaking help, we reconnected. He knew we were working there, didn't he? Oh, so when you went to a matchmaking service, the person you've been pining for turned out to be your advisor. Sounds like fate. A torturous one if you're in any other route. Yes, it truly was fate. I was able to follow the path of marriage thanks to her. Gil gently laid his hand over mine, his gaze overflowing with love. When she was my advisor, she never gave up on me. She trained me to find someone and pointed out all my flaws honestly so I could improve. She gave me so much advice, and when I saw how earnest she was, it made me want to give it my all. I am who I am today because of that, and thanks to her, I was able to reflect on myself, and that led to us getting married. Oh, I didn't know marriage agencies were so dedicated. I guess things are different in Lost York. Huh? That's what you got for my story? Didn't I just tell a heartwarming tale? Ha, sorry about that. I was just curious about how these marriage agencies work. Oh, really? I leaned forward and Gil and his friend exchanged a look. She sure is as dedicated as you described, Gil. Yes, she is. I greatly admire that about her. By the way, why are you interested in marriage agencies? I thought you were already dating someone. No, not for me. My younger sister's currently in Lost York. She's been talking about wanting to get married, but she can't seem to find the right guy. I heard she's considering joining Cupid Corps, so I got interested. Oh, really. So if it's okay with you, could I introduce my sister to you? Sure, no problem. I'll give you my business card later. Thanks a bunch. Oops, we're still at your wedding ceremony. No worries. I'm happy to help anyone on their journey to marriage. You haven't changed a bit. Still the Cupid parasite, huh? Gil didn't outright say that I was the real Cupid, but the look in his eyes hinted at it. My inherent instinct for matchmaking was secretly known only to Gil. He could be like, regular old Cupid, huh? And they'd be like, that's cute, and not realize. Like, you could seriously say that. No one would think you were talking about the real one. They quietly held hands and shared a knowing smile. The wedding ceremony proceeded blissfully. Okay, so anyway. We will stop here and we will chat more with our relatives and I guess finish up the wedding ceremony in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.